Oh, it's a 30-second clock? I thought it was a 10-second.
It's a whole new year. It's a whole new era in WWE as far as Monday Night Raw. But the grind and the fun times remain the same. Welcome to the first episode of the year, episode 13 of Sports for You Wrestling. I am your host, Trail. That's my guy, John. And joining us today, our very special guest. She is Dora. Dora, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. Happy New Year.
I'm doing good. Happy New Year, guys. I woke up pretty late in the day today, so.
Oh, no.
But I'm alive.
I definitely slept
I'm
in.
alive.
I definitely slept in, so.
I usually wake up early, but with my kids not being in school, I don't have to do that, and then I'm off of work, so I didn't have to travel today, so it was good. It's been a good day.
Must be nice.
Well, that's good. Yeah. Well, it still is because we didn't have to.
Sorry.
We didn't have to work, so we're all doing good right now. So, this past Monday marked the end of an era, so to speak. The final episode of Monday Night Raw on the USA Network. There's been tons and tons of memories that went by, but tonight we're going to go over what happened on Monday. So we're going to kick this off pretty much the opening of the show when Jey Uso came out to, I wouldn't say confront the New Day, but, to hear him out. The crowd wasn't having it. They didn't want to hear it. And then as the New Day decided to take off, Drew McIntyre basically was like, hey, you walk around here saying you got next. Well, guess what? You are next. So it looks like we're going to get Jey Uso as Drew McIntyre's official next target. So, Dora, I'm going to start with you. What do you think about Drew McIntyre's road to Roman Reigns, starting with Sami and now Jey Uso?
I really like that whenever he picks someone to hate, he hates them like down to their baby toes. Like he makes sure he's like, I hate you. Like he completely blocks out everyone else that he was angry with, and you're just the one now. So I think this would be good for Jey Uso. I mean, last year that he broke away. I don't want to say broke away, but him and the Usos, the Usos broke up. Jimmy was out for a little bit. So, Jay got to have his year. So keep building on this. Because I was really sad. I was one of those people I understand, the bloodline's getting back together, but let Jay keep the belt. Why can't he keep the belt? Roman doesn't always have to be the only one with the belt just because they're in it like that. So, but yeah, I think this will be a good feud. I don't know how long they'll drag this out because I feel like both of these men are they could take this 2 to 3 rounds. They're not going to take their L and stop. They'll take the L. They'll get the L and then keep going and be like, I still want another match. I want another match type of thing. So I think this will be good. It'll be fun to start the year with. So.
Yeah. I agree because Jey Uso and Drew McIntyre. This feud actually began last year when Jay pretty much showed up to Monday Night Raw after leaving SmackDown. So to finally see this have an actual full-blown feud as part of the Bloodline storyline, it's amazing to see. John, what are your thoughts on the Yeet Man being on the Terminator's hit list?
Oh boy, it's gonna be crazy because I think this match is going to be a straight out banger. Drew McIntyre hates the Bloodline, and clearly Jey Uso hates the fact that Drew McIntyre hates the Bloodline. So now we're gonna get pretty much the best of both worlds because obviously Jay is pretty much catching a stray because who his cousin is and the fact that he got in that cage with his arch nemesis CM Punk as well, and now this hit list is just going check, check, check. Sami Zayn, check. Now Jay Uso, and then once he gets rid of everybody from the OG bloodline, he wants to try to settle the score with Solo. But this is currently keeping your friends close and your enemies closer. So everyone gets what they want between Drew McIntyre and Solo, and that's abolishing the WWE of anything that has to do with Roman Reigns and CM Punk.
Yeah, I agree because Drew McIntyre, he's been like the most consistent guy for like the past year and a half, going on 2 years, as far as grade A storytelling. I mean, you say Kevin
top rated hater right there. He hates hard. He
exactly,
makes sure.
exactly. And like you said, John, on previous episodes when you were saying that Kevin Owens was a mastermind and he makes you think. Drew McIntyre is like man, he has the correct reasoning. It's not like other storylines in the past when they come up with much reason to start a feud. He literally has a dead to rights issue and reason on why he's doing what he's doing. It's good television because people are just buying into it, saying, "Oh, he's complaining, he's just being a crybaby." But if you look at it, it's like no, it's like if I got screwed over, I'm not gonna let that shit slide until someone runs me my fade and I get my comeuppance. So I like how Drew is right now. He's definitely my vote for Superstar of the Year because from the beginning of last year, when he started that feud with Punk through social media, then finally having matches with him, and now you think he's done. Now he sets his sights on Sami Zayn. That's done. Now he's setting his sights on Jey Uso. So it's like Drew McIntyre is on pace to possibly have another feud of the year by the end of 2025 because the man is unstoppable. It's like I haven't seen him on this much of a warpath since his return to WWE a couple of years ago. So I am definitely all aboard on the Drew McIntyre Terminator hit list, bounty hunter, how you want to call it, because the man he should be world champion. And I have a feeling by the end of this year, he probably will get the WWE championship, if not the World Heavyweight Championship, for sure. So go ahead, John.
Yeah, I see gold in his future. I mean, he's been look. We all know how he carried pretty much. He to a certain degree until Roman got back was pretty much carrying the company during the pandemic. Then Roman came back and that just took it to a whole nother universe. So he's finally getting his come up. It's his fair treatment that he obviously didn't get after he lost the title to the Miz. Miz cashing in on him, and he really never got a chance to be a champion in front of fans. And then the one time he gets to be champion in front of fans, he gets cashed in on again. So he's getting his flowers, well deserved now. And obviously everything creative wise with him and they've been doing with him has just been a masterclass. And I can't wait to see where this goes. His road to WrestleMania is going to be very intriguing this year, especially coming off way it ended last year.
Do you think they'll still have him feud with Damian again? Like he'll circle back at some point to Damian? Because I feel like that's not done yet either. Like he cashed in on him. I feel like they need to circle back to that. Plus also because I'm tired of the Judgment Day feud, so I'd rather them come back and take Damian just out of that and start separating them in different kinds of ways, the Judgment Day whole thing. So yeah, it's just too much.
I mean, I could definitely see them running it back, depending on what happens starting on Friday when the transfer portal officially goes in effect because we seeing people getting moved. So if they're on the same brand, I wouldn't mind seeing them run it back. And if somehow Drew McIntyre becomes the world champion down the line, I would definitely want to see Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre go at it to get that one going because the feud, there wasn't really a feud there. And there's, like you said, there's reasons to go back and build off of that feud because in a way, yes, it was Punk's fault, but Damian Priest did cash in and pretty much started this Terminator of Drew McIntyre that we have now. So, and knowing Triple H, he's gonna tie up all loose ends. That's one thing he's good at. Is we think he forgot, and he's like, "Nah, I didn't forget." So this is how we're gonna do it. So I'm looking for. Hopefully they do run that back because Damian Priest has shown that he's a main event guy.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
So
Agreed.
I'm gonna double back because I mentioned the New Day earlier. The New Day technically still haven't been able to, I guess, give their reasoning because every time they try to speak, they get the Vicky Guerrero treatment, they get the Dominic Mysterio treatment. That every time they try to speak, yeah, like they're getting the massive heat because everybody loves Big E. And lately, he's been having run-ins with Rey Mysterio and the LWO because Rey Mysterio, I guess, the quote-unquote locker room leader, has taken exception to the New Day. So they actually came across one another again in the backstage area, and let's take a look at what went down. See if you can set up. There you go.
We'll see you soon. Hasta luego.
Now, Rey Mysterio challenged the New Day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, New Day is like, all right, well, who you got? And I'm looking around. I'm like, he's not picking Cruz del Toro. He's not picking Joaquin Wilde.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at Dragon Lee. I'm like, respects to the brother, but this is. And no one stepped up, and Rey Mysterio just looked. So I have a theory on who his tag team partner is going to be, and I think it's going to be the debut of one Penta San Miedo from AEW. So John, I'm gonna start off with you on this one. How do you feel about Penta coming into the company, starting him off with the LWO feud? I mean, is it like a typical thing with WWE when they get a luchador to come in, they always start off with Rey Mysterio first?
It's like, I think he's just kind of like what we say, checking in the hood. What I say, the term is checking in, and that's pretty much what he's doing. It's like, okay, he's OG. He's OG. So everybody, if any luchador, their dream is to want to say that they were involved in a match. They were involved in a match with Rey Mysterio. They've been involved in a match with Rey Mysterio, and who won? And obviously Penta. We've been hearing about this for months and months, and finally we getting the payoff. I can't wait to see New Day's faces when this dude walks out of those ropes, walks out of that curtain Monday night. You're going to be in the building to see it. Obviously, I'll be watching home from Netflix. Doris will be watching home from Netflix. It's going to be something special. And Penta, he's going to have this moment to say, my first match, I partnered with Rey Mysterio. How many people can say that? I mean, I only mean people can say that their first match, Rey Mysterio was the guy who pretty much helped them get going in pro wrestling.
Yeah, I agree. Dora, what are your thoughts on Penta making his debut from AEW to Monday Night Raw on Netflix?
I'm really excited about this. I understand that they always bring in everyone to work with LWO. You know, they work with Rey Mysterio. I kind of wish there was two other options, or maybe just, just some other option. Because if there was more, but I understand, like, everyone has their own thing, and Luchador is not. I don't want to say not big in with WWE yet, but they have the way they do things. So I understand him coming in with Ray. I'm actually excited about that. I hope at some point maybe he'll team with Damien. I understand, Damien's Puerto Rican. I get it. But he's still, in the Latino, like, in the Latino world. Like,
He's in the
Zelina's
category.
Puerto Rican. Yeah. Zelina's Puerto Rican. She's in the LWO. Like, it doesn't matter, but I wish they
Right.
would kind of do kind of like they did with Damien, where they let them have their own little time. Because I feel like Penta
Yeah,
does have enough of a following from, he's coming from AEW, he has CMLL, he has Lucha Underground fans. Like, he has so many. His name is big enough that even if they didn't bring him in with Ray, I think he would do really well because he
Agreed.
already has so much of a
yeah.
following. It would be great. But my main concern, is how long until Penta turns on Ray, because everyone turns on Ray at some point. So Rey Mysterio gets turned on all the time. So at what point, how long are they going to actually keep Penta with him and have him till he's like, I'm better than you, Ray. I'm out of here type of thing. And then
Yeah.
Zelina will be there like, oh my gosh, no, don't leave us. Like she always does. Like, I hope they don't do that storyline with him, but hopefully if they do, like, I'm excited to see him in the ring with Ray, do all that, and then, if he does at some point branch off, like I said, be like a Damien where, oh, you're holding your own by
Mm.
yourself. We can get you in a tag team, even if it's not with another like LWO, like Luchador. Put him with someone, and then I mean, he has to. I feel like he's gonna have to step to Chelsea Green and Io. They're gonna have to incorporate that too. Like they were all on Lucha. They've all met before,
Yeah.
so it's gonna be funny when they have them go backstage and be like, "What are you doing here?" If they're on the same brand type of thing. Like I think that would be cute too. They don't have to wrestle each other, but just I want to see how they have those people interact that have worked with him before already. So
Yeah, I agree because I seen Lucha Underground and I seen Rey Mysterio and Penta, and man, the battles they had then, it's
hmm
it's it's amazing. So to see this come full circle on the bigger stage of wrestling is gonna be awesome. But I personally don't think that Penta's joining the LWO. I think they just use, like you said, they just use Rey Mysterio as that way in to take on the New Day, but I don't think it's. I personally think it's a one off. Because they got to bring him in, they got to show the crowd who he is. And I've actually been to a live event, AEW event, and seen the Lucha Brothers wrestle, so I know what's in store. I don't think the rest of the WWE fans have any idea the caliber of
yes.
of Penta and the presentation mind of Triple H of how they're gonna present this man.
hmm
And with the walk, with the smoke, with the spookiness, it is like this is gonna be crazy, and I can't believe I'm actually gonna be there to see this because
So lucky.
it's bittersweet because he's finally here, but he doesn't have his little brother with him.
Which sucks.
So
hmm
just imagine if both of them had pulled up and was like, we here. They wouldn't even need Rey Mysterio. They could have just put up on their own. So they would have been
Agreed.
here already.
Yeah. Yeah, they would
The
have
Lucha
probably
But
not
Brothers,
even been like, Ray, we got it, Ray. See, just stand over here, we got you, and just do
yeah,
it
the,
themselves type of thing.
the Lucha Brothers versus the New Day could be hopefully if Ray Phoenix gets somehow out of his AEW contract one day, we can see that before Woods and Kofi hang up the boots. I would love to see
Yes.
the Lucha Brothers versus the New Day go a couple of rounds. That would be a definitely
man.
iconic tag match.
I mean,
Let him go,
Lucha Bro-
Tony. Let him go. Goodness gracious.
the Lucha Brothers versus Street Profits, Lucha Brothers
Mm.
versus
Mm,
like the Usos, Lucha Brothers versus the Tongans. It's like
yeah,
DIY.
that's good. Yeah.
Like it's it's there, and the only way Ray can get out of his contract is if WWE goes to AEW and say, let me buy out his contract. Tony Khan's not going to do that. So we're
Yeah, he
probably
even
not going to see
extended it
Ray
with the
into the end.
injury. Like, he's not letting these people go. He does not
Exactly.
want them to, like,
It's
childish.
Yeah, he knows
it's
where he's going.
it's the epitome of petty. It's the
Yes,
epitome of petty.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
He
It's
knows
the
where he's
epitome
going.
of petty.
So it's like, nah, you're going to stay here for
But
a
I mean,
while.
WWE,
So,
they've done it too. I mean, everybody does it. WWE did it at one point
yeah,
too. So,
Right.
it's not, it's
that's why they
happened. It's
have
just the
that's why they
game.
have those yeah, that's why they have those 90-day non-compete clauses when they get fired or they get out of their contract. You have, X amount of days, or they do add, time to your contract or whatever, but it's never the way that Tony's doing it is like he didn't do that before. And the fact that word got out that he was going to WWE and that's when he was like, "Oh, that's what we're doing." Oh no, you gonna stick with me for a while. So we're not gonna see
Yeah.
Pence at probably the end of this year, or beginning 2026. So because I think they add like almost a year.
And we still don't know what's
I think it
happening
was only
with
6 months. I feel, yeah, it was like a 6 months injury thing. And he's like, I'm fucking injured. Let me go. Like, what are we doing this for?
Yeah, yeah. But he's like, no, you going over there, so you gonna wait. So
Yeah, and if
I'm
he's injured,
glad
just let him
Pence is
go. Yeah,
here
just
instead of
let
him
him
waiting.
go. Yes, exactly.
Let him go. Free,
So
free,
it's
free Ray, free,
it's
free Ray Phoenix.
free
Or
Ray
Trail
Phoenix.
Six.
Yeah, let him come get these stem cells. WWE sending everyone to get stem cells. Let him come get some of these new stem cells down in
Yeah.
Mexico so we can get him back in the ring. So
Yeah, Ray got his
that's
stem
how
cell.
I
That's
feel.
how he his career got a little bit longer because of
hmm
stem cells. So
Big E too.
bring
He
them
went
on
and got
down there.
stem
They
cells too.
Yep.
Shotzi got stem cells.
yep,
All of them. That's what I'm saying. It's the
yep,
thing right now. They got to go and do it, and they got healthy bodies coming back, a new body. So
exactly.
Get
Speaking
it
of
done.
healthy bodies, speaking of healthy bodies, we got the semifinals of the Women's Intercontinental Championship tournament. The first match was Dakota Kai versus
Zoe
Zoe
Stark.
Stark.
Zoe Stark. This match was good. I was expecting some interference, some shenanigans for PFC, but that actually didn't happen. So Dakota Kai, I want to say I'm surprised, but at the same time I'm not because they actually are pushing the new talent. Well, the newer talent outside of the Four Horsewomen and Rhea. So to see her get the win clean of a Zoe Stark, it felt good to me because it kind of reminded me of Michin and Chelsea Green for the United States title. They're showing you that we're pushing the future of the women's division, and Dakota Kai has long been overdue for a push. She's been on social media. She's posted videos. She's been in
That she won.
tears, asking for a shot, asking for, a push. So to see her in the finals I'm rooting for the girl. I'm rooting for her. Is she gonna win? I'm gonna say that for the prediction later on because for me it's a tough one to call. But Dora, what do you think about Dakota Kai outlasting Zoe Stark and moving on to the finals? Is it her time?
Um, I think so. I think hopefully they give it like because I felt like when they started the bracket, she was actually the one I was like, oh, it's gonna be like exactly the four that came. I mean, minus Kyrie because you know what happened with her and they put in Io again. But they were my four that I was like, okay, I know it's gonna be Lyra, I know it's gonna be Dakota, I know it's gonna be Zoe because why would they put any of the two other people that she was like, no, And then on the other side, we had what Kyrie, Tiffany, whoever, like, they didn't need the push either. Like, I really think this time they chose the people that it's time to push them. So I feel like I
Mm-hmm.
actually wanted Zoe Stark to win. I love her finisher. I feel like she needs a chance, kind of away from what is it, Pure Fusion? I
Yeah,
think,
Pure Fusion
I
Collective. Yeah.
really, yeah, I
TNT
feel like
or
it's
the
just,
Bloodline.
I, yeah, I just feel like maybe they have a lot of factions that they kind of stuck together and not say, and I feel like that's one of the ones that I'm like, why did you stick them together? Like, I understand they're like hardcore fighters, stuff like that, but you didn't need to put them together. Like, they were fine by themselves, like, let them have their run. So I think it's good that they did have Zoe be one of the finalists. I did want her to win, like I said, but I'm happy with Dakota. Dakota's good. Dakota, I
Right.
was like, if it's not Dakota and Zoe, I don't care kind of who wins this one. But yeah, that's how I feel about that
Mhm.
one. So definitely she deserves
John,
it.
your
She's been
thoughts on?
working hard.
I thought
I
I had no
agree.
problem. Yeah, I wanted Dakota to win too. Nothing against Zoe Stark, and I agree with D is saying that Zoe Stark's a badass. I mean, I think she doesn't personally need Pure Fusion Collective, and I know they've been doing those funny vignettes where she's trying to put Shayna Baszler to sleeper, and Shayna Baszler just dusts it off. She shows that she does have some personality. We saw a little bit of that in NXT, and obviously she showed that she's pretty much a real tough chick, and she's been on the main roster even when they had her partner with being like with Trish Stratus. I think she's pretty much can be a future women's intercontinental champion. I didn't like Charles was saying Dakota. The push. There was two people who a lot of people were already pushing for this to win. It was either Dakota Kai or Zelina Vega, and
Oh
Mhm.
yeah,
obviously Zelina Vega and Dakota Kai were on opposite brackets. But then you threw in the other person who a lot of people wanted, and that's Lyra Valkyria, and they
Mhm.
had them two there in the same match. And I'm rooting for Dakota. I mean, as far as to get her moment, I'm when we get to the predictions, I'll get my thoughts on that. But they
same.
got the right person. They got the right person winning that match.
Yeah,
Yeah. For me, once Lyra was in the tournament, I'm like, yeah, she's gonna be in the finals automatically because
yeah.
she definitely has what it takes to be a workhorse champion. She's a former women's NXT champion, so and she hasn't really been doing anything creative wise for a little bit. She was feuding with Pew Fusion Collective, and that's pretty much about it. So to have her give her something to do in the mid card and give her the championship, I can see it. But I've been a fan of Dakota Kai since NXT, so to see her come from full circle from all the way back then, constantly getting stumped out and bullied by Shayna Baszler back in the day, to see her get not one but two victories over Pure Fusion Collective back to back in these rounds. So to see her go to the finals, it's like, barring any injuries, she could be a workhorse too. But granted, she does get injured a lot, so we'll see, who wins. But that Raw premiere is going to be something special because I'm happy for both these women, for sure, because they need a little bit more shine, a little bit more spotlight, because SmackDown's still in the show, and NXT Women's Division is still in the show. So the Raw Women's Division they need a spotlight
Wrap it
outside
up.
of Rhea and
Hmm.
Liv, and hopefully with the transfer portal things get shaping up so all three brands can be shining at the same time. So
True.
So
speaking of brands, we're going to go to these guys, the Judgment Day, debuting some new music out of nowhere. Um,
Well, she
I'm
just
a
did
fan.
pretty much explain I know it's explain what everyone feels about this music.
I'm a fan of hip hop and stuff like that. So it's like they're teasing this breakup. So why are they getting music now? And my only theory is that this team is breaking up, and either Finn or Dominic is going to take over that theme. And if that's the new Judgment Day theme song, it doesn't fit Finn Balor at all. It fits more Dominic
mm-mm.
Mysterio. So I think Finn's gonna get kicked out. Dominic's gonna take over as leader of the Judgment Day, and that's gonna be, you know, the music. So it was the team of Dominic, Finn, and JD McDonough, excuse me, sorry,
Hey, yo.
against the team of the War Raiders, the current
We all
tag team
feel the same
champions.
about JD. Come on.
Hey, I did not. I did not say he was wrong. I just said, "Hey, yo,
Captain Bobblehead, as I like to call him. So the War Raiders and Damian Priest. This match went good. I like the style of this match. Ultimately, Damian Priest got the win with the South of Heaven. This team of Damian Priest and the War Raiders, they keep finding ways to bring up factions or groups. And Damian told these guys, if you guys, fight with the Judgment Day, I'm there. In the back of my mind, I'm like, why? This needs to be done. You need to be over with the Judgment Day already. You and Rhea got to stop with the Judgment Day. So hopefully this was just one of those, I guess, like Crying Time and John Cena. They were clicked together for a little bit, but it never went anywhere. It was just a phase of the moment, so to speak. So hopefully that's the case, because the War Raiders need to go their way. Damian Priest needs to go his way, and ultimately the Judgment Day need to split immediately, because it's gone on long enough. Liv and Finn are not on the same page. It feels like a power struggle. So I think they need to go. So Dora, I'm gonna ask you, what'd you think about the match and the future of Judgment Day?
I'm ready for like I said earlier, I'm ready for Judgment Day to just be over. Like, I've been waiting. I definitely don't. I feel like they don't want to completely dissolve Judgment Day just because, like, what are they going to do with JD and Carlito? You can't put
Mm-hmm.
them in a tag team. You can't put them individually anywhere that everyone's going to be like, no, we can't have them. No, they're just going to kind of fade off, I feel. And I think maybe they're trying to save them from the fade off by keeping Judgment Day together, but it's just not working. Like, Finn, like, used to be this like demon. He literally was a demon, and now it's just kind of like he's gonna end up getting forgotten about, like JD and Carlito, if they don't hurry up and get him out of this, because it's just not working anymore. He needs to go back on his singles run, just do something else. And I feel the same way with, I'm sure, with the War Raiders and Damian Priest, it's just a one thing, like, oh, we all hate them right now. Let's just kind of go against them and as a group together and get this over with. Kind of like we were saying with Penta and Rey Mysterio, like, kind of just as an introduction. Like, maybe this is just like an introduction match for them as tag team champions. Like, let's put them with Damian. We can have the third for their third and kind of get them out of here. And then hopefully we'll be done. We'll be done with that, because it's exhausting at this point. Like, what are we doing anymore? Like, Finn and Liv don't even talk to each other. Like, what is the point of the Judgment Day anymore? And I don't feel like Rhea and Damian are gonna come and get any of them, because there's no point either. Like, they're already on their singles run. What do they need anyone in their corner for? So just let these people go. Like, JD, Carlito, go fade and do what you, I don't know, give them a desk job, let them be writers, just something. Like, get them out of here at this point, and everyone else, let them have their singles. Let the War Raiders go and be champions for a little bit. So yeah, that's how I feel. I just don't.
And she said, give them a desk job. That is crazy.
Yeah, give them something. Keep them in Gorilla. Teach them to use the sound up pyrotechnics. Like, they're obviously not anything. And I'm sure they have their fans, but I'm just not one of them right now. So yeah, that's my feelings on that.
I think everything comes to an end on Monday for sure. John, what are your thoughts, kind sir?
Oh, the music was trash, or it didn't fit the group, like you said. It didn't fit the group. I'm gonna say it wasn't trash, because obviously, and you're right, it does kind of cater more to Dom. If Dom's pulling up in the low with Liv Morgan right there riding shotgun with him, and I mean, Finn trying to walk in with his cool hip swagger and all that. I'm like, no, dude, no. You're the Demon Prince and all that, everything. The Demon King. You're the Prince. No, that's not you. You was coming with the swag. I like that you wear the Jordans in the ring. That's as a fellow sneakerhead, I can appreciate that on many levels. But no, that music is our good friend Miss Nessa is in the comments. That music is pretty much for Dominic Mysterio. And as you pointed out, Mr. Trail, when they posted the graphic for this match with the Priest and the War Raiders versus the Judgment Day, there was something different. Usually, when you look at that match, you got Finn Balor front and center, and you got Dominic on one side. You had JD McDonagh on the other. They had Dom front and center. And I took when you posted that, and you tweeted at our girls from Humble Roses about it. It really caught my attention. Like, why would they do that? And then the music happens. So he's starting to put the pieces together. Eventually, the Judgment Day is Splitsville. And I think what's going to be, we're going to have the final rendition of the Judgment Day, but it'll be the Dirty Dom rendition led by him and Liv Morgan with Raquel. Carlito's just going to be there as, pretty much carrying Dom's bags while trying to get in Raquel's bag in the same.
Hey, whoa,
Come on, man.
Raquel too. At this point, they need to send Raquel back to the Performance Center too. She needs. I don't know why she's been terrible since she came back too. Like, her too. Maybe just send them back down to go train some more with like the NXT people because she came back terrible. Same thing like Cora Jade. Like, why did they come back so terrible? Like, you guys came back just to stand around and like follow someone around because that's all you're doing and there's no depth. Like there's nothing about their character besides being a side person to someone else at this point.
I think that also has a lot to do with whatever injury or in case Raquel's situation, she had the disease she was dealing with. And to me, she doesn't look like she's in ring shape. She looked the same. Her body still looks the same way it did when she competed in Elimination Chamber. Obviously, she's not as slender or a little more kind of leaner as she's been in the past. She's obviously she's gained a few extra pounds because she's been dealing with this health challenge. And as far as like you brought up Corey James, we'll get to that with NXT talk if we got time. But yeah, I think that has to do with if they're able to get their cardio and they're able to get in that regular routine. And this is probably them just like getting the cardio and the routine on the job. It's like in basketball, like some players can't practice their way back into good conditioning. They got to play their way. So I guess this is probably what it is. And obviously Raquel has to, and they want to push Raquel to be the Diesel to Liv Morgan, Shawn Michaels. So that's the only reason why she hasn't been sitting down yet.
I mean, yeah, because I was probably one of the first people that said it. She can be like the Diesel to Liv Morgan, Shawn Michaels. But I've also said in agreement to Dora that I always wanted that Raquel from NXT on the main roster, and we have yet to get that Raquel. I want that Raquel Gonzalez to show up again because we got a little bit of that when she attacked Rhea in that match she had with Liv, with Dominic, in the shark cage. We saw a little bit of that old, Raquel, but then it felt like soon she aligned with Liv, she put on the sunglasses. It's like, oh, we're back to Raquel, Rodriguez again. So I want to, and then the match she had with Rhea they could have did more compared to what they did at NXT. They could have did a whole lot more in that match. So I do kind of want this eventually, because eventually Raquel's going to turn on Liv or Liv's going to turn on Raquel, whichever the one. And we're going to get that Shawn versus Diesel moment. So and if that does happen, that's where I want to see Big Mommy Cool. I want to see Raquel Gonzalez, make her return to basically make her actual debut to the main roster. So I agree with Dora that she has came back different, and I sympathize because of the medical treatments and the medical issues she's had. But even then, she could have came back a little bit more vicious, especially that she's a heel. So I
Mm.
do expect, a little bit more out of her. That's all.
I also feel
Um,
like I think they
speak.
pulled her back a little bit too after remember when she I don't remember when it was, but when she kind of did that move to Rhea that made her land on the shoe. Like you have to be aware of like kind of everything that's going on in the ring, and I think they kind of messed her up a little bit too because that messed up Rhea. So it was like, oh, maybe we're not there for you to be there yet. You need to slow it down because how were you not aware of the items in the ring that could hurt someone else, Because they
Mm,
obviously didn't want her to hurt Rhea. So for her to
hmm
get hurt from running, slamming into Tiffany's shoe, like, I'm not saying that that was like,
Yeah.
there was probably no way to avoid that, but like at that point, like you should have just been a little bit more aware of where you were landing her and what was going on. So I'm sure that probably like was like, hey, we got to maybe back up a little bit too, because you need to slow it down a little bit, or I don't know, just I don't know what the term would be, but I think she just needs to, I don't know. That's why I say I think it's just a training thing. She needs to get back into the training to get kind of back to where she was at. Not completely there, but just somewhere close enough so that she doesn't hurt anyone in the ring. She's not hurting herself more again in the ring. So
Yeah, I agree. And maybe because of that, they saw it and like, yeah, I don't think you're ready to have any singles
yeah.
matches right now. We're just gonna have you as a bodyguard. So I get
Yeah.
it. I definitely get it. John, last thoughts on Raquel?
Just hope she gets right, man. Look, I want to see that Raquel, like you said, I want to see that Raquel Gonzalez we saw when she first burst on the scene in NXT, and she was Dakota, and she was pretty much doing what they want her to, where that they want her to be with Liv was what she was with Dakota Kai, and obviously we saw the viciousness come out of her. Then they became women's tag team champions for a week, and then eventually she got her chance to be NXT Women's Champion the same weekend. Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair win at WrestleMania because they were all in the PC at the same time. You had that iconic picture of them three back in the PC holding up gold, doing the championship photo shoot backstage at NXT and everything. But hopefully she gets right because there is something there, but she has to be willing to she got to be willing to put in the work to make sure it comes out right and it doesn't look sloppy.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. Speaking of NXT, we had NXT alums, former NXT Women's Champions, going at it in the other semifinals of the Women's Intercontinental Championship tournament. Lyra Valkyrie, and Io. I'll still call her Shirai, but it's Io Sky, I guess. Um, these two put on a very, very good match, in my opinion, with Lyra getting the win. Because at first, before the match started, I sat there and I thought, are they really going to have a damage control, finals? But I'm like, no, they're not going to back themselves in the corner and possibly, start some type of dissension, which, it shouldn't be one. So I knew one of them was going to make it, and the other one wasn't. So it was a good victory for Lyra going over Io to set the stage for January 6th, Io versus Dakota. So I'm happy that Lyra got the win. She's on her way. Like I said before, I do believe she's a credible person to carry to be the first ever Intercontinental Champion, and she can definitely put on some 5-star matches if given the opportunity. Dora, what did you think about that match and Lyra getting the dub?
I kind of this one I did expect for Lyra to win. I just didn't see any point. Io's held enough belts that she didn't need this push either. I feel like maybe they just put her in because Kyrie is gone, so they're like, let's do this to make people think that we're gonna like start a feud right off the bat. But I feel
Mm-hmm.
like with damage control, Kyrie being gone, and Io's going for the same belt as Rhea, so I'm assuming they're gonna start that story at some point too next year. So I mean, the
Yeah.
best bet would be to put it on Dakota or Lyra because like I guess who else? Like, you know what I mean? Like, who else would be worthy of holding it from who was left? Like, they had so many people in not only this bracket, but the women, the US one that Chelsea Green has, like a lot of those women kind of were already established. So it was like, what are you guys doing? Like, we don't need to put certain women in there. Like, I get it if you're trying to be like, oh, we want to put like this superstar who never really got their shine, but we're still gonna make them lose anyway. Like Natalia. Why were they what was that kind of thing? Like, why were you
Yeah.
putting those people together? Like, same thing with Tiffany. Tiffany had the case. What was Tiffany doing there? Like, we didn't. There were some people that I just felt like, why did you could have put other people? There could have been so many other choices. But I definitely think Lyra and Ira did good. I do see maybe Io being somewhat jealous of Dakota holding the belt, but as the past, I don't want the past to repeat itself, but I mean, Dakota's the only one in Damage Control who hasn't held a belt yet, so I think it's finally her time to get the belt. Um, I guess I don't know. When we get to the predictions, I guess I'll talk more same like you guys, but I mean, these two, Lyra and Dakota, are definitely the two that I kind of felt like they're probably going to be the final two. Lyra's super. I know people love her; they support her a whole bunch. So I was like, I definitely feel like it's going to be her, Dakota, because they deserve it the most. And it's kind of like with the Mitchin and Chelsea. Like, I don't really know who I want to win because they both kind of really deserve it. So
Mm-hmm.
either or will be fine with me, honestly, with winning.
John, your thoughts?
Good match, first of all, and I might piggyback on some of what Dee was saying. Um, and me and Troy, we had this discussion when we was doing like with the United States Women's Championship, where a lot of people were pushing for Bayley or Naomi to win the match. Like our girl Lena's in the chat. Shout out. Um, and I kind of said this, and I said it even in our final episode with our boys Mike D and Mo. The United States Women's title to me was kind of beneath Bayley and Naomi. I get the whole theory of having a veteran try to be the one that try to set the prestige of it, but I also had that feeling and I didn't have it as much, but I did have that same feeling with EO as well because she is super accomplished from NXT
Same.
since she's
Yeah.
been on the main roster. Being a women's tag team champion, winning Miss Money in the Bank, and then cashing in a month later at SummerSlam and winning the women's title and defending it at WrestleMania. She's pretty much ascended to the point where that belt was beneath her. And like you said, I think they only did it because it was Kyrie that got injured. So Adam Pearce threw Damage Control aside. Let's still have two members from Damage Control compete in the tournament. But I had no problem with Lyra winning. And I'm seeing the story where it's getting built. I don't know if y'all, I know y'all probably don't watch Raw Talk, but I watched, the segment they had. It was Kathy Kelly talking to Lyra Valkyria, and she's harping on the fact that she kept coming up short every time. She came up short in the Queen of the Ring tournament to Nia Jax. She came up short in the women's number one contender Royal to Io Sky. Now she's got another chance where she doesn't want to come up short, and Dakota Kai comes in like, well, I've been dealing with the same stuff too. I've worked like hell to get back from these knee injuries and blah blah blah. And I think we're going to see a good match. I'm kind of glad that they put this match 2 weeks from Monday as opposed to next Monday, because I think we all know the prestige of the Intercontinental title. Whether you think about all the men who've had the title, whether it's Bret Hart, Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels, Diesel, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Triple H, Cody, The Miz, Chris Jericho, and the list goes on and on. If you're going to have the prestige of the Intercontinental title stay prestige, it needs to have its own spotlight. It would have got totally lost in the shuffle with everything going on down at the Intuit Dome Monday night. I can't wait to see this match, and I'm still weary of my prediction, but I think I know where I want to go. But Lyra, she put on a good match, and her and EO put on some bangers anytime they get in the ring.
Yeah, I agree. I usually don't get caught up on Raw Talk. I used to back then, but I don't. But like you said, Dakota, she can, the way she told, I guess, Lyra, say, you have the same issues I do. So that's what makes the finals so more compelling because you got two women who are scratching and clawing for that spotlight. One who's been overlooked, and the other one who kept coming up as number two. So something's got to give, and the fact that it's not on the Netflix premiere and they're gonna have their own shine, that goes to show how important. One, I mean, Raw is gonna be a PLE basically, so they're not gonna have enough to put everybody on there. So, because I already know how that's gonna go down. So to have them on their own time, possibly the main event, who knows? Um, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to that. And speaking of bangers, the segment that ended the show on Monday night, CM Punk,
Yikes.
Drew McIntyre. I mean, not Drew McIntyre. Excuse me, Seth Rollins. Um, someone really doesn't like another person when their promos are so fire. Like, look at Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle. They couldn't stand each other, and the promo showed it. It was like fire. So this one here was actually fire, and I actually do have a little small clip of what happened. Did I get that up here? Excuse me. Nah, it doesn't want to load.
Of course.
I'm doing some work in my sleep.
Yeah,
Did Stone Cold Steve Austin
there it goes.
take his ball and go home? You know, I haven't seen the man around these parts in quite some time. Did she take her ball and go home too? Or is it just me, Seth?
Sheesh. That the bars they were bringing on one another, especially including the wives.
And the children, and the pet children.
Yeah, and the fact that CM Punk doesn't know anything about having kids, it's like that. I was like, how did he not punch the living shit out of him? Because I've listened to and read AJ Lee's autobiography years ago, and I think she did touch on not being able to have kids. So for him to go there, I was like, damn. He's like, you want to bring up my wife? Let's bring up your wife. So if AJ Lee, I was telling John this yesterday, if AJ Lee shows up at the Royal Rumble while Becky Lynch is in the ring, I'm gonna lose my shit because like they keep dropping AJ Lee a lot. So it makes me wonder, is this going to be one of those surprise returns? But that's neither here nor there. I can say that for a Royal Rumble prediction. But CM Punk, Seth Rollins, these guys know each other. The more I go back and watch this promo, the more I'm convinced of why they made this match the main event. It's like I'm almost more excited to see this match than Tribal Combat. And I love any main event that has Roman Reigns in it, but this here, it's almost like we finally got a story that's bigger than the Bloodline. Because the Bloodline dominated 2024, basically been dominating storyline since 2020, if you want to get technical about it. So to finally have something that's bigger than Roman Reigns, it's exciting to me. So I'm looking forward to this match. Dora, what did you think about that exchange with CM Punk and Seth Rollins ahead of the Netflix premiere?
I feel like is it true? Is it like a real life thing that they don't like each other? Like this is like a real thing. Like people talk about this. I guess because
Yeah,
I
it
feel like
is.
because I feel like almost like they wrote each other's like that's kind of what it felt like. They wrote each other's attacks towards each other. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Because I feel like
Hmm.
they did cut deep, but I feel like if you kind of didn't know what was coming, you would react a certain type of way. And I felt like the moment that, Seth Rollins said, you don't know what it's like or whatever to have kids, I feel like if Punk didn't know that was coming, he probably would have reacted in like a CM Punk kind of way. So I felt like he kind of knew that. That's why I feel like maybe they wrote each other's speeches almost, but they were good. Like that was a really good promo that they did. I feel like they cut deep. Like they didn't have to talk about that man's dog like that. Like that's a real thing to some people. That's his baby dog.
Hmm.
Okay, not may not have a baby. And I mean Seth Rollins, like his baby's like what? She's like 3. He hasn't been a dad for very long. You know what I mean? Like we can't throw that in there like my wife's taking care of our kid. Like it's we get it, but I think they did really good. They definitely showed the hate towards each other. Like you could feel there was hate, but that's why I said like I wonder sometimes if it is real hate or if it's kind of like a respect thing cuz how many times have we seen people say shit about AJ Lee, about his dog, and he's just popped off, and he didn't pop off at all. So he either like kind of felt like that comment was coming, or maybe that's why I say maybe they wrote each other's, attacks toward each other, even in a sense, but they just said it in the way that they would have said it. But I am excited for this match. I don't agree with Punk. I think Seth dresses fantastic. Outfits are always on point, even his lace. Like, that's an extravagant man, and you just gotta let extravagant men be extravagant. You know what I mean? But I definitely know this is gonna be good. I don't know if it'll be as violent as the Drew McIntyre and CM Punk match was, but I definitely think there's gonna be a lot more wrestling, a lot more technical stuff that him and Rollins can do together. Not saying he didn't do it with Drew, but I just don't see their feud being as bloody as Drew McIntyre makes his feuds. Because, like I said, Drew McIntyre hates your essence. Like he hates you down to everything that he can. And I just feel like Punk and Rollins hate each other, but at some point it'll probably build towards some kind of mutual respect towards each other. Because I mean, it's true. Like Rollins literally turned on Roman and did this to himself. Like you brought on this damage that you're bringing to yourself, and now you're crying about it. And then I mean, Rollins also has a good point towards Punk. Like you left, you went and got some fast money, came back, fucked up over there, came over here. Like you know what I mean? Like I get it. Like you jumped
Hmm.
ship only to jump back. But you can say the same thing about Cody. You jumped ship and came back. So like there's certain wrestlers that you can say that about that you're like, what did you come back for? If we were so big and evil and WWE was so evil, why did you guys want to come back so quickly? Because they promised you a title, they promised you something. So obviously that's why he came back. Some change or whatever. What did he say? Like a check or some change, something like that. Rollins said to Punk. So yeah,
Yeah.
but I thought it
Yeah,
was good. It was really good.
big
That
chunk
was
of
good. That
change.
was a good. Yeah, exactly. He must have got a chunkier chunk over here. So
Yeah, I mean, actually, there is a little animosity because when CM Punk left back then, almost like a little like around 12 years ago, it really wasn't under any of any pleasantries on the way out. I mean, the man got issued his walking papers while he was getting married. Um, the doctors, the staff back then, they were very, very shitty. They wasn't taking care of their wrestlers like they should, like they do now. So CM Punk built a hatred for WWE for 7 years. So yeah, he spent all this time badmouthing the company, putting it down, saying the company's crap and blah blah blah. Which, looking back at it now, he was right. So
definitely.
Seth Rollins, he stayed, he soldiered on. So yeah, of course he's gonna take offense to it because he worked his way through the company. Now he's like one of the top stars of the company. So he always gonna feel like every person that's left badmouth the company and didn't want to come back and be in the main event. Like he felt the type of like you mentioned Cody. We all remember when AEW got started. What did Cody do? He comes out with a sledgehammer that that's supposed to mean Triple H, and he took the sledgehammer to the throne as a symbolic way of this is we're here now. So to see him come back, Seth Rollins felt some type of way. So it's the same thing with CM Punk. He feels like it's more based on what Punk is saying, that you're not mad that I left this company, you're mad that I left you. So maybe he looked up to CM Punk, he thought it was his hero, and sometimes when your heroes let you down, you feel some type of way. So I get it. John, what are your thoughts of this face to face and what's coming down the pike on Monday?
Like you were saying yesterday, I hope this match is the main event. I said it to you yesterday. I'm gonna say it to those who didn't hear, who obviously you were privy to our conversation about this segment. If you want to put on a video of how to cut a promo, play that. Play that. That was promo class 101 right there. That's the stuff Dusty was trying to teach dudes like Seth back in the PC. And clearly he took it and he ran with it. And Punk, he's gifted on the microphone. So whatever he's gonna say, people are gonna be at the edge of their seat wondering, is it gonna be another like pipe bomb? But the way they was cutting to the white meat. Obviously, you're bringing up Becky, you're bringing up AJ Lee, you're bringing up Tony Khan, you're bringing up Vince, you're bringing up dogs and not being able to have kids. It was what you expect. Like when you could watch a press conference for a heavyweight for a prize fight, and they get those final words with each other, and they're just yapping and yapping and yapping. And truly, they gave the fans their money's worth. I'm gonna have my popcorn ready for this match come Monday night. And to ask to Dora's point, ask the question. You can tell where art is, where there's real heat there, and you notice it like with Seth. Who has this main heat been with over the last 4 years? Cody Rhodes, CM Punk. Cody asked for his release. He was granted. Goes off, finds himself, and then he comes back home. And who did he face in his first match? Seth Rollins. CM Punk goes away. Obviously, he detailed everything that happened in the 10 years he was away. Seth's team wins War Games over the Judgment Day. You thinking they're finna go off the air and the United Center goes crazy and the Allstate Arena goes crazy, and here comes the Second City Saint, and everything is just going bananas. I'm like, man, you got to be kidding me right now. And you see Seth just going bananas, flipping him off, ready to go try to run down the aisle because he felt like he's still in his shine. Seth clearly has a problem with people who are coming back thinking that they're trying to get the WWE rub when they left pretty much all at their own choice. But I cannot wait for this match. This match is a banger. I hope this isn't just a one-off. I do agree with you, D. I don't think it's going to be as bloody as Punk versus Drew, but it's damn sure going to be as personal.
Oh, this is definitely not going to be a one-off. It's going to start Monday, and I think it's going to bleed over to the Royal Rumble because they're going to be in the Royal Rumble together. They might be involved in the Elimination Chamber for the championship or for the number one contender. I don't know. But I think one of them is going to pin the other. And then I think that third and final match is probably going to be either at WrestleMania or it should be at WrestleMania because they do have their second match. I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be at Saturday Night's main event. Or if not, just let it bleed into the Rumble and go from there. So I do see this, and I do see this feud ending in Vegas. Is it going to be a title on the line? That would be interesting if it is. means someone has to win that championship in the Elimination Chamber in order for that to happen, or unless CM Punk wins the Royal Rumble, but then that leaves Seth Rollins. He would have to win the Elimination Chamber to be champion. So, title or no title, this feud is going to the tipping point of this feud is going to end in Vegas. So I'm looking forward to that. That was a fire, like John said, that was a fire segment. These two really hate each other, and just like AC said, when you really don't like each other and you still gotta keep it professional, it's gonna bleed out through the promo work. Like, it's definitely gonna bleed out through the promo work, and you can tell these people. I'm pretty sure, to your point, though, that maybe they had a little meeting, like, okay, what's off limits? What can I say? What can I say? Or maybe, just maybe, they really went off the rip and let each other have it. And given that it was advertised as a face-to-face and, there's no fighting, I'm pretty sure it took a lot in CM Punk not to deck Seth Rollins over that not having.
To hold it in. Yeah, that's what I feel like they had to know something, because there's no, unless they're like, is written in, like, you guys better not touch each other tonight kind of thing. Like, I've never seen CM Punk, like, someone mention his wife, his dog, and him not immediately, like, snap. So that's why I just feel like there has to be something, or there's some kind of reason why Punk did not go off the way that he usually does either. So unless it's just growth, he's like, hey, fuck it, let's, so.
Yeah, he's for a man that's been so-called a cancer in the locker room, the man is having the time of his life. I mean, we're not just gonna start the year off and not reminisce of him walking down to a ring on a house show wearing a rubber ducky hat and a towel, barefooted. So we're not gonna overlook that. That's so funny. For someone to be a cancer, that's pretty damn fun to be a cancer. So to flip that narrative, that goes to show you how bad AEW is. And that pretty much, John, you have any more anything to add to the Punk Rollins rivalry before we end this recap?
Is it Monday yet? Is it Monday yet? Nope. Let's get going, man. Let's go. I'm ready. It's Monday. Time for talking is a wrap now, Trell. Let's ring the bell and let's go at it. I am so glad that you're going to be there to witness this and get a lot of good stuff for the brand. But man, let's effing go. I'm ready for this, man.
Hey man, I got way too much task. Thanks to the Humble Roads podcast. I got a lot of jobs I got to do while I'm there. I got to make sure my phone is charged at 100%. I got to make sure I bring my charger.
Your battery pack. Exactly, Fred.
Yeah, because I'm gonna do a lot of paparazzi. Because ain't no telling what's gonna happen before the show goes on the air. Exactly. Ain't no telling what's gonna happen before the show. Ain't no telling what's gonna happen after the show. So let's just dive into it, man. We're just gonna start this Raw on Netflix preview. So we're gonna double back to the women's. We got the finals of Dakota Kai versus Lyra Valkyria for the inaugural Women's Intercontinental Championship. And I was saving my predictions for this because I noticed on Dakota's side, you have Pure Fusion Collective and you have Damage Control. I don't think they're going to give the championship to someone that's currently in a stable and definitely who isn't the leader of that stable, because it looks like Zoe Stark isn't the leader. It's Homegirl that's the leader. And then Damage Control, you still look at Io Sky as the leader of that group. So they're not gonna have I guess I want to say henchmen, because Damage Control ain't heels, but you're not gonna have the role players win a championship while inside of a group. So I think this is gonna be where Lyra becomes women's Intercontinental Champion. So that's who I pick to win this match. Dora, who you got winning this? Is it Dakota or you got Lyra like me?
I kind of agree with you about the faction thing. Like, as much as I really want Dakota to win, it'd be like, I'll just use the Judgment Day as an example. It'd be like if Carlito won a match, won a belt, and took it back and went to go hang out with the group. Like, it it's not going to be copacetic. They're already all fighting. Like, it's going to make it worse. Because remember, before even this intercontinental thing started, Io was tripping. Remember, she was destroying the back rooms. She was throwing fits
Mm-hmm.
because she didn't have the belt anymore. And then she went against Liv
Mm-hmm.
and lost, which was crazy to me. I was like, what do you mean? But I mean, I get it. However, they don't want Liv to not lose the belt. I don't know why. I don't understand that either. But yeah, like I just don't. I as much as I want Dakota to get it, I feel like it's gonna be Lyra. I just yeah. I really want it to be Dakota, but I always tell. I guess I always hate the storyline of okay, so I don't know how in depth you are with like actors' roles, but I feel like anytime an actor like I call it like the Scott Summers storyline because you know how Scott Summers, Cyclops from X-Men, he's always second. Like he never gets the girl he wants. He's always like the other person always gets the girl. It's kind of like that in these
Right.
stories. The other
Mm-hmm.
person like they're always right there, but they never get the gold. And I feel like that's the storyline they have going with Dakota right now. Like I don't think you're gonna get it still, you know, because like there's certain actors. Like I feel like the actors that play like Scott Summers, you know, the actual live, not the cartoons. Even those actors are always in a role where they never get the girl. So I feel like some people are just that's how they're typecasted. That's how they're written, and that's kind of what they do with Dakota, which she's talked like you were saying earlier, like she's talked about it online, she's talked about it everywhere. Like I never get it, and I feel like they're still not gonna let her get it. But I feel like if she doesn't win, they give it to Lyra, still have her feuding with Lyra for it, because that would be a good to keep going, like a good storyline for Dakota. Like okay, this is a belt that I feel like they can give to Dakota. Maybe in 2 or 3 months drop it to Dakota, because who else are they gonna give it to? Like
True.
I mean, besides Zoe Stark, I can't envision anyone else that's in the roster right now anyway on their side on the Raw side that would need the Intercontinental title even because there's so many veterans over here that don't need the belt either. Really, the people in there that are kind of lower, it would be the best to have them all feud for that mid card belt basically. So I'm gonna give it to Lyra also.
Facts. Because like I said, hopefully the transfer portal's kicked in a high gear, so we're gonna start seeing a whole lot of people, swapping places on these brands. John, your prediction, man. What do you think? You got Lyra, or you think King Cobra is gonna get it done?
I think it's gonna be a banger match. Bay Area. Shout out to the Bay Area. Oh boy. I really want this for Dakota. It's gonna it obviously, but I just feel like right now, Lyra Valkyria, what she's done in this last year from NXT, being the one that they had to get that Becky Lynch puts over to win the NXT Women's title, to obviously losing to Roxanne Perez, getting drafted to Raw, coming up short on the biggest stages. Queen of the Ring, Money in the Bank, the Women's Battle Royal in Saudi. I don't think she's coming up short in 2 weeks. She's walking out of San Jose with the Women's Intercontinental title, and I think Dakota is going to be so obsessed with it that we might see that Dakota that turned on Tegan Knox in War Games come out eventually.
Yep.
She's going to be so obsessed with trying to be champion where it's going to be like, screw Io, screw Kyrie right now. I need this to be about me. And I think if she does that, and you were in the building that night, right? That night when Dakota turned on Tegan, was you in the building that night?
Yep. Takeover.
You saw the pop. So I'll let you follow up on that. But yeah, I think it's Naira, but it's gonna be a great match to see. And I think she's gonna be a fighting champion. She's gonna bring a lot of prestige to that belt. That's gonna make it very competitive. And I think Dakota is gonna be a total head case when she loses. Go ahead, dog.
Yes. Same thing like Io. They both are just going to be crazy obsessed with getting these belts at this point. That's going to be probably Damage Control moving forward.
Yeah, me and John are on the same wavelength because he said the same thing I was about to say. That Dakota, she's gonna go stone cold crazy of time and time again. That it's gonna fuck with her mentally to the point that she had enough. Io's gonna try to calm her down. She's gonna snap on Io, and she's gonna go on a warpath trying to chase down Lyra Valkyria for that championship. So I'm with her on the fact of they should build, a feud off of that, because that can carry that all the way, to the next Saturday night's main event, which is like a week before the Rumble. So that would be that would probably be like her first title defense. Would probably be Dakota Kai. So have a heel Dakota from NXT. That's gonna be something to see. So I'm actually excited for this match. I still believe that Lyra's gonna win because she's basically once the tournament got formed and she was in it, I knew for a fact that she was the clear-cut favorite. And I agree with you, Dora. I don't know why Natalya was in that match in that tournament.
I hate how I feel like they embarrass the vets when they do that. Like, why are you doing that to them? Like, this stuff just is not. I just don't like that they do that. Like, why are you doing that to Natalya, Naomi, Bayley? Like, these women are so above this. Like, I don't like that what they do that to the women, or even to the men. Even like this is above them. Like there's more talent you can find. You don't have to use them. Like use these kinds of brackets to bring in the new women. Do something, but just don't do this. Like the way I just didn't get those portions of the bracket thing that they did.
Yeah, at least with Bayley and Naomi, they actually got a storyline brewing. Once Jade Cargill comes back, because it's that case of who done it, who did it. So they're already in a feud, so it makes sense for them to not win anything because it'll just pretty much mess up the entire story and it wouldn't make any sense. But for Natalya, it's like you could have easily had Scarlett, in that match instead of Natalya, because Scarlett isn't really doing anything, and then that way you could have added Nikki Cross element to that match and distract Scarlett from the match. And then, whoever else was in that triple threat, it would have been a one-on-one issue because Scarlett would have been, preoccupied with Nikki Cross. So I found that laughable that they put Natalya in that match. And what was the first thing she talks about? Oh, they bring up how her uncle was, her uncle Brett won the championship. Her uncle Davey Boy was a champion. Her uncle Owen was the Intercontinental champion. I'm like, damn, why they bring out this story? Right, know Natalya's not gonna win that. So why they gotta bring this story in? It's like, damn.
Yeah.
Poor Natty.
Yeah, kind of like Danny. Try to play the pity, the sympathy card. That didn't fly with me because like we all know the history the Hart family has with the Intercontinental title. All three of them, Brett, Owen, Davey Boy, they all won the title. Obviously, we all know SummerSlam in the UK in Wembley Stadium, which sparked the conversation that me and Trell had in our group chat with another friend, but we're not gonna go there right now. But they had the right people. Like you said, like I was saying earlier, and we've said it when we had our women's review, Trell. The title, it got to be somebody who really is gonna be like a workhorse, a mid-carder. To me, it's beneath Natalya. It was beneath Bayley. It was beneath Naomi. Obviously, Tiffany has the Money in the Bank, like Dora said, he wasn't winning. It was honestly, I don't know if he started. It was definitely beneath Bianca, but we all know why she was in there, and it was kind of beneath Jay to a degree too. And there was not that just shows the roster how top heavy the roster is, where they couldn't have like 4 separate triple threat matches for all mid carders. You had to have some of your A-listers be in there to try to keep bringing some spice, some sexy to this tournament.
I don't know. They could
Because
have
I
had the
was
girl that's with Otis come in. They could have had like. There's a lot of
no,
other
don't do that.
women. Like
No.
they
I love
just
Maxine.
something. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Maxine could have been in
no,
it.
listen, she's right. They could have had Maxine in there
They could
because
have had
Oh,
Maxine.
okay,
They could have
I
had
get what you're
Nikki
saying. I
Cross.
get what you're saying.
They
on
could have had
I get
SmackDown,
people
what
on
instead of
SmackDown,
them.
We're here. We're here.
yeah, exactly. On SmackDown, outside of Tiffany, there's reasons of why everyone was in that tournament, and there's reasons why they didn't win it because there's other storylines involved. For Raw, it's like there was no reason why Natalya was in that match to begin with. You could have had you could have added, like I say, you could have added Scarlett and then bring in the Nikki Cross element to screw her out of the triple threat match.
They could have had. Is B Fab? Is she on Raw or is she on SmackDown?
She was on
She was in the tournament. She was in the United States tournament.
Okay.
Yeah, she was in the United States tournament, so they had her in there. So Natty didn't belong there. She's the trainer. She's like the fairy godmother that trying to turn back the fountain of youth, which I'm not mad at her at all. But she's the godmother of the women's locker room. So you could at least had her go to the semis and lose instead of having her in the beginning of the tournament just to lose. So I mean, she's happy with her life, so I'm not really mad at her. She has no complaints. She's done it all. At least Natalya has been a women's champion before, so multi-time. So it's not like all these years she hasn't done diddly squat. So
Yeah.
she's at that point of her life where she's pretty much she's the jobber. She's the enhancement talent when you need someone to represent on tour or you need to put over a star. Yeah. So
I wish it wasn't that though for her. There's so many women that I'm like, I wish they didn't do that to them, but I understand why they do it. Like someone has to take these L's sometimes. So
yeah, I know. I understand the frustration because every time I see Natalya, I'm like, well, here goes this preppy speech that no one cares about, and she's like, yay, and she loses. But yeah. Speaking of,
Trey will tell you, women wrestling has a platform on here. You got a voice here, no matter what. You guys, Sports Free Wrestling will always be a platform for women content creators to speak their piece on women's wrestling, as my esteemed host will say all the time.
That is true. That is true. And speaking of women's wrestling, this here has to end. And that's Liv Morgan defending her Women's World Heavyweight Championship against Rhea Ripley in the last woman standing match that either me or John called a while back. I don't know which one of us it was, but we deserve a check. But anyway, everyone's been saying it. I've been saying it. Dora said it. John said it. Nessa said it. Angel said it. This feud has gone on long enough. It needs to end. It needs to stop. And based on the promo package that Liv and Rhea put out, WWE is pretty much telling us this is it. Monday is it. Like whoever wins is gonna go on as women's champion. Whoever loses, hell, they might hit that transfer portal and go somewhere else. So, pretty much WWE is telling us this match is done. This is the last and final time. Thank goodness. Start the year off with something fresh. Rhea Ripley is the odds-on favorite to win this match, but I'm actually going to go with Liv Morgan to retain the Women's World Championship simply because it wouldn't make any sense to have Rhea get it back after all this time. And then, Rhea is pretty much the John Cena, the Roman Reigns of WWE right now. She really can't be beat. So have her take this loss. She's beaten Liv at Crown Jewel in a tag, not Crown Jewel, but overseas in Saudi in a tag team match at forgot which pay-per-view that was. So, and she's pinned her at War Games. So there's no reason for Rhea to win. This is gonna be Liv's moment. She's gonna finally complete the Revenge Tour and beat Rhea Ripley clean. Because I mean, I'm pretty sure Raquel's probably gonna get involved, but I'm guessing Rhea Ripley's gonna neutralize Raquel, so it's gonna be down to the. And for it to be the last woman standing, Liv can hit her with anything and everything to get this dub. So I got Liv winning, and Io, to Dora's point that she mentioned earlier about Io, that's why she didn't win in the tournament, because I predict that Io's going to go on to maybe win the Royal Rumble. And, add that ticket to WrestleMania while Becky Lynch comes back, deals with Liv Morgan, and Liv Morgan beats Becky Lynch. So I got Liv winning this match. Dora, who do you have winning this match, and where do you see the loser and winner move go on from here?
I need to hear John first. And I'll go third. I want to hear John
All
first.
right,
What he says.
go ahead,
I want to
John.
go third. I want to go.
You're far too kind. You're far too kind. Oh man, man. I had my mind come into this discussion that this was going to be all said and done. When we found out it was last woman standing, I'm like, okay, they're stacking the deck against Rhea, but like it's trail hitting it. She's like the Cena. She's the unmovable force right now. She's Andre the Giant. But until at this current moment, I had Rhea Ripley winning. And then you said that, and it makes all the sense in the effing world. You're going to have a last woman standing match, and they're going to stack the deck on Rhea Ripley, where they're going to beat the living hell out of each other, but somehow Liv Morgan's going to weasel her way into still being champion. I want it to be Rhea, but man, something tells me it's as the promo said, it's over. But I think somehow I want Rhea to win, but now I just don't think it's going to happen. And I have a prediction of who I think is going to be the person that actually takes the belt off. I mean, kind of, I can see where I have my mind going certain place when it comes to Liv, and I think you hit it on the right way with Io, because obviously, outside of her saying, I beat Rhea Ripley this, I beat Rhea Ripley that, what has been the first thing she always quits to bring up?
She retired Becky Lynch.
And look who was in the promo for the Netflix premiere. Now, I don't know when Becky's coming back. I doubt I'll be shocked if you see her Monday night, dog. But somehow, I don't think she takes the belt from Liv, but she's damn sure is going to be part of the reason why she won't be women's champion. But I'm gonna go with Liv Morgan winning this match and Rhea Ripley somehow getting just totally screwed in a match where anything goes. Now I want to leave it to the female woman aficionado to tell me where I sounded like a complete buffoon.
I don't think you guys are wrong in your saying Liv's gonna win, but I think they're finally gonna let Rhea have it, because I don't know. I feel like Liv is overdoing it now. Like, what are you doing now? You haven't been defending it. Your matches you did defend with, they were boring. No offense to Io Sky, because her match, that Io never does bad to me, but Liv Morgan just is giving nothing right now. All she's done is hung out with Dom, try to get Dom a belt that he's never got. I don't see Dominic getting a belt anytime soon either. I mean, I know he's like, oh, I'm getting these matches, I'm going to wrestle people, but he's been losing those matches he asked for. So I don't see the point in Liv winning. I feel like, although they are, like you said, they're going to stack it up against Rhea to win, but I feel like maybe they are going to bring Becky in right away. And Becky will be the reason why Liv loses. And I think Rhea is actually going to get the belt, because Rhea can defend against other people. She actually does matches. She'll be able to defend, which, I mean, like you're saying, you think Io Sky is going to win the Royal Rumble. I think I'd rather see a feud between Rhea and Io kind of start, because it'll be like like we said about Dakota, Io and Dakota are going to be wanting these belts from these other women. So that's what's going to drive them. So I feel like no one's really trying to challenge Liv for the belt because what is Liv to anybody else that's kind of on the roster? They've all kind of beat her already. Or if they do, they're too, I don't want to say too big because you're never too big or too small to wrestle anybody, you know, in this game. If they're good enough, they can put on a show with you being a tiny person and a larger person. We've seen Rey Mysterio go up against a bunch of people that he was smaller than and he beat them. So it's not a
Yeah.
size thing either, but I don't know why they would continue on with Liv, especially if they're going to break up Judgment Day. Like, I feel like if they go, it kind of seems like they're doing an Eddie Guerrero route with Dominic. Because remember, there was the little point where Tiffany was like, I want him type of thing. And she was like, no, that, you know, they started that little kind of feud. I felt like that was a little touch on maybe Dom is going to leave her side soon, even and maybe she won't be in the Judgment Day anymore at all. Because I feel like the Judgment Day is just gonna break up. Like it's their time to break up. So I just don't see any reason for Dominic to still stay by Liv's side. Because he needs to start, you know, he needs to spread his wings and fly. And I'm gonna say they're giving it to Rhea because it would just be a better storyline. It opens up more avenues because no one wants to wrestle Liv. It's boring. She's boring to wrestle at this time. Like, not saying she doesn't put on a show, but it's not anything that we're not seeing anyone else do. You know, it's like, oh, okay, Liv's in the ring again. She only defended like what 3 or 4 times in a year. You only defended 3 or 4 times in almost a year. Like it's boring. Like there's nothing else that we can do with her. Like get her out of here, put it on Rhea. Although I know people are like Rhea didn't defend it either, but at least Rhea will defend it. Like someone's gonna come for Rhea. Like Io obviously gonna come in and try and get it. You have Jade seems like when she comes back, she's probably not gonna be in a tag team kind of mood. So she might be going for Rhea's belt even. We have Bianca that, you know, Bianca Naomi. I don't know if they're going to have Jade get the belt back and, you know, that situation, but I'm sure that's going to be a split soon. And not everyone needs to be going for Nia Jax's title at this point. And Tiffany still has the case. So at any point, Tiffany can still come in and take from everything. So they can even go that route with this. If Rhea or Liv win with this match, whoever wins with them, what if Tiffany comes in and takes their belt? And all of a sudden Tiffany starts the year as the champion. I don't think they'll do that. That's like a way, that's out in the wind, like just a wild like assumption I can make. But I mean, at some point people need to stop competing for just Nia's title and they need to go for Liv's title. And no one's gone for Liv because she's too tiny. She's not as, I don't want to use the word experience, but it gives nothing for anyone to go against her. Like Jade going against her, what's that gonna do? Jade going, Bianca going against Liv, what's that gonna do? Excuse me, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
At this point, give it to Rhea so all these other women can have a chance to actually go against her, and even if they don't win the title, they can showcase themselves and they can get some TV time.
I agree.
But that's why I want Rhea to win. Yeah, that's why I don't. Yeah, and I'm tired of Liv. I'm just tired.
I mean, they still could go with Rhea and give Rhea the championship, keep Rhea on Raw, and they could move Liv, Dom, and Raquel to SmackDown. Because if you guys remember, Dominic Mysterio was in the back talking to Nick Aldis on one of the episodes of SmackDown. So maybe he was working out a transfer deal, to bring, that version of Judgment Day to SmackDown. So Rhea could wind up winning the championship, send Liv Morgan on her way, but then where does that leave Becky Lynch? Becky Lynch just signed her new contract. She's on her way back, and the first person she's going to gun for is Liv Morgan, and I'm pretty sure they're going to have Becky Lynch on Raw on the Raw brand with whoever's the champion, and I think it's going to be Liv. The simple fact of now you got that feud going in to the new year. Because if I have Liv as women's champion at least till to the Elimination Chamber, and then from there you can have Becky win it, or if it's inside the chamber, maybe have someone else win. or what have you. But I think it's gonna be Liv for the simple fact of like we all mentioned, she's constantly been teasing that she's retired Becky Lynch. So it's like, why would you have Liv lose the championship and then turn right around and you have Becky Lynch breathing down your neck because you couldn't keep her name out your mouth for for the entire fall. So I would say Liv probably will win, and then Becky Lynch might show up on Monday night as soon as Liv wins. She may come back and upstage Liv Morgan. You have that face to face, and it's gonna be a holy shit moment.
I don't know. I
Again,
just kind of feel like Liv doesn't need the belt to feud with Becky, honestly.
technically she doesn't. No, she really doesn't.
So I feel like
And then, like you
that's why I'm
said,
thinking like if Rhea wins, Liv, maybe that's the time that Becky comes in and is like, it's my time to beat her ass finally. Because
yeah,
Seth was talking pretty spicy, Seth was like, and Punk even mentioned your wife's not here, so that might be like, I gotta show up now, type of thing. Now it's my time,
yeah.
I guess, since they mentioned me. So,
And we still haven't gotten the Rhea Ripley Bianca Belair feud that everybody wants. So Rhea could win the title, take the title to SmackDown, or that's if Bianca stays on SmackDown and she doesn't get transferred
hmm
through the portal. But that feud is not going to happen anytime soon because we still got to figure out what happened to Jade Cargill, and is Bianca Belair an accomplice to that? We don't know. So Bianca could be busy right now. She won't have time for Rhea Ripley. So Charlotte Flair is making a return anytime now. So it depends. How I really don't know what's gonna happen because until the transfer pro actually happens. So it might kick off this Friday on the new episode of SmackDown because it's back live again. So we shall see how that goes. But I'm glad that this feud is coming to an end. It's been long overdue, and they picked the right time to end it and start something new. Which
R.I.P.
brings me, yeah, exactly. Speaking of RIP, Jay Uso might be a dead man walking because him and Drew McIntyre got a match Monday night in LA at the Intuit Dome. I love me some Jay Uso. It's yeet all day, every day, but you're not gonna have Drew McIntyre start this tour, this Hitman tour, and lose to Jey Uso on his second stop of this tour. So I got Drew McIntyre winning probably in a vicious fashion, but I got him winning and he's moving up the ladder of the bloodline. John, I'm gonna go with you. Then I'm gonna end it with Dora. What do you think, John? On who's gonna win this match and what happens next in the bloodline list?
Oh, I hate that to pick this match, man, because it's got one of my favorites of the last 4 years of Drew McIntyre, and the guy who's like my number one right now, Jey Uso. But if you're gonna pay off this Drew McIntyre hit list, and the end game is him to try to get to Roman Reigns, or Solo takes out Roman Reigns and he gets the Solo, he's got to win by hook or by crook. And something tells me the bloodline will have some type of shenanigans up their sleeve because we know they're all going to be in the building that night for a match we'll talk about later on. So it doesn't. So I got Drew. I think Jay's going to beat the living crap out of him. But man, he is going to. It is not going to be no clean victory because you're not going to squash the momentum Jey Uso got right now. He's definitely going to be screwed over by his brother and these Tongans and this werewolf. Well, Tongan because the Botch King is on the shelf right now. But nah, man, it's going to be Drew McIntyre's run. Hey, I can't help it. It was Ali. I threw the alley to myself. Felt like Wimpy. So it's Drew. It's Drew. It's going to be a banger of a match. I'm happy to see Jay again on the big stage again in our city, but this is Drew McIntyre's moment right now. He's on fire.
Yeah, I agree. It's Jay is caught between the rock and the hard place, and he's gonna get the block knocked off of him for sure. Dora, what do you think about Jey Uso's chances against Drew McIntyre? Does my guy
Oh,
have a shot here?
I wish I could say yes. I hate it too. I feel the same way. Like I do not like the Jay because he's one of my favorites too. Like going against Drew because I just don't see him defeating Drew. I think my only question for this match is which bloodline do you think is gonna help him? Because do you remember when Solo came to help Jay? They've come to help Jay before, um, kind of thing. Do you remember when they did that? I can't remember who Jay was going against, but they've tried to help Jay before. Like, hey, come to our side. You remember Solo bought the tickets, they were in the
Oh,
audience.
it was Braun
So that's
Breaker.
why, yeah. So do you
When he
think,
screwed
because
Jay
I
out of it,
mean,
when they ended Jay inside
yeah,
the ring.
yeah. So they hate, they hate Drew McIntyre just as much as anybody else. Same thing with the other, with the new bloodline. Like, do you think, my question is, are they gonna come in and try and like help him also and screw him again? I feel like that would be
Um,
something that would happen.
I don't think McIntyre's character needs it because
Mhm.
it's Drew McIntyre. But to John's point that the family is going to be in the building, I can
Mhm.
see I can see like maybe like Jacob or Tamatonga getting involved because if we remember when we saw on SmackDown, Drew McIntyre and Solo's bloodline, they kind of sort of made a little pact, a little
Mhm.
truce, if you will, on the road of taking down the bloodline, taking down Roman Reigns, and Drew told Solo's like,
Mhm.
you take her this problem and I do this and yada yada, and when it's all said and done, then we can squash, our beef. So
Mhm.
I wouldn't be surprised if someone interferes because if someone does interfere, it's gonna play a big part in
Mhm.
the match later on with the other family members involved as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So um, I can see I can see Tamatoga and Jacob interfering on behalf because Solo's gonna be busy getting ready, so he's not gonna be out there. So I
Yeah, but
choose
he'll still
Jacob
send like
and
the boys. Yeah, he'll send his cousins, brothers,
yeah,
whatever, the rest of the family out. And Jacob loves beating up anybody, so
because he loves
he's
Solo.
down for it. Exactly. I love you
Ah
so.
no! Oh
I love
no!
you so.
So
So
yeah,
yeah,
I can
I definitely think Drew. Yeah, I think Drew, but I definitely agree. There's gonna be some kind of weird interference. Like it's probably gonna be Jay up, and we think it's gonna be Jay winning, and then someone's gonna come in and just screw everything up for both of them technically, and just maybe start a feud with them, maybe at the end of it all.
yeah, because like we all said, it's gonna be involved, and I think the family is gonna be very very busy Monday because not only do we got Jay in action, we got tribal combat, the fight for Ulafala, the fight for pretty much the head of the table, the leader of the clan of all bloodlines, not just Romans and Solos. There could be only one true tribal chief, and I'm on the fence on this one because I've seen a lot of people suggest that Solo should win as he, becomes the tribal chief. But I mean, Roman Reigns has his OTC, tribal chief merch. Ain't no way he's gonna lose that title. So I have me personally, I got Roman Reigns. Obviously, I'm always gonna pick Roman Reigns. But his bloodline, Roman Reigns' bloodline won one, and then Solo, his bloodline won one, and then like War Games it ended with Roman Reigns getting the victory, but the fact remains he got the Ulafala. So chaos is gonna break down here in this match. I got everybody and their mom interfering in this match. I got the Hogan and Jacob interfering. Jay's gonna interfere. Sami Zayn's probably gonna interfere. Um, what's his name? Drew McIntyre might return and to continue his quest on the hit list. So it's gonna be like I have a feeling it's gonna be almost be a little taste of what happened at Mania when everyone was involved. I think this match is gonna be. I wish I don't want it to be so many people involved because it takes away the importance of the match. But this is gonna be the spotlight that I feel Solo deserves because he's been around Roman Reigns over a year, learned the tricks of the trade, learned how he does as a character, learned how he does as a tribal chief, how he conducts his business inside the ring, outside the ring. The whole time he was there, he didn't talk. The moment Roman Reigns left, they gave Solo full reins to go do what he does, and I feel like he's knocked that out of the park. So this is going to spotlight heavy on Solo Sikoa's performance. So I got him putting on the best match he can. But at the end of the day, the original, the OTC, I got winning the match. John, who you got, Solo or Roman Reigns? Who is the tribal chief?
This is going to be a bloodbath. And the family's going to be involved. But at the end of the day, there's only one true tribal chief, and his name is Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, he's going to help Solo get over or not in this match. But when it's all said and done, we're going to see why he is the OTC. And Solo's going to get humbled. And I'm going to give Solo a lot of props. Like we're doing our Survivor Series War Games watching on Dura. We watched it. D-Trail watched it. Our boy Trail was there. Solo went out on his sword, and I guarantee you he's going to go out on his sword in Monday night. He believes Roman lied to him, and he's going to go down swinging. And if he doesn't win, he's going to live to fight another day, in the words of John Witherspoon. But nah, this is Roman reign. And then I think we can kind of figure what's next or who's next if you smell what I'm cooking.
Yeah, I definitely do because what I've been saying, John, for the longest, Roman Reigns don't get that Ulafala, and then he completed phase 1, and then the high chief is gonna show up like, job well done. But you and I got some issues to work out.
Yeah, exactly. So, I agree.
So that I'm looking forward to so badly because he's rumored to be in LA. So the moment, because I don't know if you ever been to an event, a WWE event, Dora, but when you hear The Rock's music unexpectedly, unadvertised, out of nowhere where you least expect it, it's a dope feeling, man. It's because I remember I went to the SmackDown premiere on Fox years ago, and I remember like it was yesterday. Becky Lynch and Baron Corbin were in the ring chit-chatting, and The Rock's music just hit out of nowhere. You'll never forget that moment. He's one of those guys that what he does, like that goosebumps. So
he's electrifying, friend. Like he says, he's electrifying.
Yeah, for a reason.
Rock. Yes.
He's the most electrifying man in everything nowadays.
All entertainment.
Yeah.
To see the final boss, to potentially have the honor of seeing the final boss character live, it's gonna be a special moment indeed to kick off 2025. And speaking of kicking off 2025, and to John's point, speaking about the bloodbath, is what we talked about earlier, and that's one CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. I've gone back and forth about who's gonna win this match, and who's gonna draw first blood, so to speak. And I'm gonna go. I'm gonna pick CM Punk. I'm gonna have CM Punk get the first match because this is the first feud outside of Drew McIntyre. So this is basically his second feud since being a company as a whole. So round one, I got CM Punk beating Seth Rollins. Dora, if you want to go next, who do you have winning this match?
I don't know. I don't think I can pick on this one. Like, I definitely feel like they're gonna give it to Punk, but like I said, Seth Rollins is a Scott Summers. I don't know if they're gonna give it to him, but I feel like if Becky comes back, yes, Seth will win. If I don't see Becky, I don't think Seth is gonna win. I think they're gonna give it to Punk for sure. Same thing how I feel. If Roman wins, I definitely feel like Seth probably is gonna win as well. Kind of thing. Like I guess it's dependent. You know what I mean? Like the stories all have to connect at some point. So I feel like, yeah, if Roman wins, which I feel like Roman's gonna win, I think they'll give it to Seth as well. Like let's have these former Shield members win. That'll add another level to when they're not gonna only have one match. This is gonna go like maybe 2 or 3, maybe. Not as long as Drew McIntyre, but I feel like, it's going to be one of those continuous feuds because it'll give Seth back his fire to be like, I can go back for this championship. Like, I already beat up Punk, So I think it'll just light a fire for them to give it back to Seth and not give it to Punk.
Yeah,
Ooh, yeah,
I agree.
Yes.
And I agree with Lena too. I forgot about Gunther.
Said, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about the Gunther part which will go towards my theory of Punk winning the Rumble and then Seth probably wins the title at the Elimination Chamber because Gunther's going to be in that match, defend the title at the Chamber, have Seth win, and then when that match is over, CM Punk will waste no time, ruining his moment and be like, "It's me again. Hello."
Mm-hmm.
So, John, who do you got? You got CM Punk, the voice of the voiceless, or the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins?
I'm just gonna be so excited seeing both of these entrances coming back to back. I'm just gonna be on. That's enough for the admission. But I think I'm gonna see him. I got CM Punk. I love Seth Rollins. But CM Punk said it. He's not here to make friends. He's here to make money, and he's gonna make a lot of money this night. And he's already pretty much said it. Like Lena just hinted on it. He had his issue with Seth Rollins because Seth Rollins had something he wanted. That was World Heavyweight Championship. Seth lost at the Drew McIntyre Mania. And eventually got cashed in by Damian Priest, who has lost it to the current champion, which is Gunther. So I think this is all going to set up for Punk getting his comeuppance on Seth. And I don't think they're far from done. But I think at the end of this night, the ring general is going to try to put the Second City Saint on notice. So, you want to come for me? Because remember, who did obviously after he beat Drew McIntyre in that strap match at Bash in Berlin, and that was the PLE you was thinking about earlier, Trail. It was Bash in Berlin. He was ready to move forward and go call out and go try to challenge Gunther for the World Heavyweight title. But we all knew that was just set up the climax of this rivalry with him and Drew McIntyre inside Hell in a Cell. So now I think Gunther's going to be keeping an eye on this match because both of these guys want to get what he currently owns. And they've both been world heavyweight champions in the past. Obviously, Seth, then more recent in this new chapter of this title. But man, I think Seth and CM Punk have a match of the year type of qualities. But in the end of the day, it's gonna be clobbering time. CM Punk's gonna tell Seth Rollins to go to sleep, and then the ring general is gonna come out and put him on notice. It's like, I heard what you said.
Which is that's funny.
Like, say what you said, say it. Say what you said.
Say what you said.
But yeah, this is. I think they're gonna have breaks in between this feud. Um, Punk takes round one, and then the next time they see each other, it's definitely gonna be at the Royal Rumble. Maybe they have a second match that Saturday night's main event, depending on how that goes. They're gonna both gonna have their entrance, their names in the Royal Rumble once everything gets settled. They're gonna start putting their bid in, and then they have whatever they have at the Rumble. Punk wins the Rumble, so he automatically doesn't have to be in the Elimination Chamber match. So that just leaves Seth Rollins. So there's different ways they can go with this. But it makes more sense to have Punk win because you're not going to have Punk and Gunther anytime soon. So it makes more sense for Seth because he's the workhorse. He's more durable than CM Punk. They're both fragile if you ask me. But I have a Punk getting that one. That's definitely for sure. For sure. Now, this one here, this next segment I'm going to talk about, because we talked about the potential arrival of The Rock. We talked about the potential arrival of Becky Lynch. There's one other for sure person that's making his return, and it holds near and dear to R-Truth's heart, and also holds near and dear to Michael Holt John's heart. And that's the farewell tour of John Cena that will kick off Monday night. He's gonna run the entire calendar year from January 6th all the way to December. So we are in store for many great last time matches we're gonna see from the great John Cena. So I'm gonna start off with one of my favorite John Cena moments. I would say ECW One Night Stand. Him defending the WWE Championship against Money in the Bank holder Rob Van Dam in the very, very hostile territory of the Hammerstein Ballroom in Brooklyn, New York. Fans had signs. It was packed to the roof, packed to the rafters. They all had signs that said, if Cena wins, we're going to riot. And I believed them because New York is New York. For me, when John Cena came out, he threw his T-shirt he usually throws his T-shirt to the crowd. They threw that shit back.
That was insane.
The hell with you. The hell with that nasty ass T-shirt. We don't want it. Get the hell out of our building. That's the first time John Cena's ever experienced that type of nuclear heat. Ever. Like, I don't think anyone has ever got up until Vicky Guerrero and Dominic Mysterio in the New Day. No one had that much heat on him more than John Cena. Maybe Roman Reigns, but the whole city hated John Cena. They hated WWE because that was the old ECW crowd. They had no love for WWE at all, and let alone their golden goose, their company man, their champion, John Cena. So that's a moment for me that stands out because he went in there. Usually he was dancing. Usually he's all smiles. Usually he's, he was all business. He knew that he was in a fight for his life in the hostile territory. Anything could have went wrong. So that's my moment for John Cena. Dora, I'm gonna ask you because I know John has many John Cena moments, so I'm gonna have him go last. You have any moments of John Cena, and if not, what do you expect on his return, his final farewell tour?
I don't want to pick a favorite John Cena moment, but we better see R-Truth and John Cena together in a tag team match at least once. That's how I feel. Like that has to get done. He's no longer with the Miz. You know, they have to do it. They have to do it for him. Like it's got to be done. It's his last run. Let R-Truth be a part of that last run for just a little bit, even if it's just 2 or 3 matches. Just let them be in the ring together, and let him have that. That's all I have.
So,
That's it for me. That's all
so,
I want to
so
see.
pretty much give R-Truth his Make a Wish moment and have him team
Yes,
with his childhood
exactly.
hero. One good time for the good time. I can
Yes,
definitely see that.
exactly.
I could definitely see that because he's been in the ring with John Cena before. He's
Mhm.
told him, he's a childhood hero. So to see these two guys, especially R-Truth, who's been around forever in this business, to have that character, be in the ring with his childhood hero, which, by the way, he still imitates his moves to this day, which is still always gonna be comical. So they keep that part of the story alive. So I'm with you, man. I want to see R2 live out his childhood memory, get that one last sign off with his hero. Maybe a photo at the end, or maybe a jersey swap or something. But I definitely that'd be a cool moment. I agree.
Yes, that's
John,
how I want for the future.
John, the floor is
Don't
yours.
cry, friend. Don't cry while you talk. Hold it in. Hold it
The
in.
floor
Don't
is
let the viewers
yours.
see
We
you
all
weep.
know John Cena is your superhero. Let's not fake the funk here. The floor is yours, my brother.
Oh my God. I didn't think I'd live to see this day. First of all, shout out to WWE. They got that exclusive LA John Cena merch. I will have soon that they're gonna have it into it though. So shout out. And shout out to AC and Nessa for sending that to me because they
You
know
you
how much I love blue.
actually I read up I read up on that before you start, John. I read up on that. It's gonna be different city, different shirts. So in order for you to get that, you probably have
You
to
have
be
to
there
be
to
in the
get it.
building.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, that's trash.
there's some
It's
Please be
hoes.
on
it's one of
WWE
That's
shop.
those
hurtful.
it's one of those, I was here moment shirts, memorabilia type shirts. So I'm
Well,
not
I
gonna
see. Okay.
it may or may not be on the shop. You're gonna have to be there to get it. So if there's a worst case scenario, I will call you and have you sell me some money and I will get the shirt for you.
My dog. Okay, so check it out. My favorite Cena moment. I mean, there's so many. I mean, obviously, I think about his first when he won his first title with Mania at WrestleMania 20, beating Big Show for the United States title. Obviously, I didn't get a chance to be at WrestleMania 21 where he beat JBL, become WWE champion. One of my favorite John Cena moments. I mean, let's be real. It's him versus The Rock. It's him versus The Rock, both matches. Obviously, the first match in Miami, which he lost, which set up for the comeback the following year in New York. Um, man, I can go down the line of moments. Obviously, the Shawn Michaels match in London on Raw. Clearly, him and Shawn Michaels from WrestleMania 23. Everything he did with Randy Orton. Obviously, everything he did with Edge. Triple H, him beating Triple H at 22. But The Rock, the match with him and The Rock stands out to me because it was my two generations of my wrestling fandom clashing all in one moment. Because I was as a kid growing up, I was a huge fan of The Rock. But as in my 20s and 30s, I became a fan of John Cena because The Rock obviously went to Hollywood and became this megastar. But Cena and The Rock obviously is one of my favorites because of what it did for the culture of wrestling and how it was just the best of both worlds. But I can do a laundry list of this all night. But I'll go with Cena and The Rock.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, up until that point, John Cena usually smoked everybody on the microphone in every promo, any given time. So to see him get a dose of his own medicine when it gets The Rock, it was those two going back and forth was comedic gold because it even got to the point that John Cena had to bring out the Thugonomics character in the middle of that feud to cut a promo. So it brought out some good times, that's for sure. And those two Mania matches, they did not disappoint. So that's gonna be John Cena. He's that Stone Cold of a generation, that Hulk Hogan of a generation, that leads a group, that leads an era. Because Stone Cold, he kicked off the Attitude Era. Hulk Hogan, he had the 80s, the Wonder Years. Bret Hart had the Wonder Years era, and then there was a time where Shawn Michaels had a little era of his own. Now we're living in the era of Roman Reigns. So John Cena, if I could compare someone that's like John Cena, it'll be LeBron James. Like, been in the game for so many years. It's like we learned to love him. Some people love to hate him, but yet when it came down to crunch time, he never cheated the system. He never cheated you out of a good time. He showed up. He went to work. He gave up. He had the fans going home talking about, oh, did you see what Cena did? Or, oh man, I wish Cena would lose because he keeps winning. Like he had the world buzzing about it. So he's gonna be missed. I mean, I'm already used to him already not being there because I told John this multiple times. It was time for him to step down and move on because it's not like 2000. It's not like 2015, 17 when him and Roman Reigns had that interaction, and when John Cena told him, I keep coming around because you can't do your job as the top guy. Fast forward to that, WWE's in a good place now. Outside of Roman Reigns, you see other stars being built, other stories going on. So now John Cena can be like Thanos and just go into the countryside, sit down, look at everything he's done, and be like, "Yep, I did that." Everything's where it's supposed to be. So it's gonna be. I think he should kick off the show. I don't know if he's gonna kick it off by himself. Maybe they should have CM Punk come in and they have a little moment together. Maybe plant a seed for a future match down the line. Because like I said, he's gonna be a full-time performer for the entire 2025 year. So it's not gonna be him here once every 6 months. He's gonna be here often. So he's gonna be missed. I give you that. He's going to be missed. Anyone else have any final John Cena takes? John, Dora? Nope. All right.
I can't wait. I just can't wait. I can't wait to see how this goes. I lived through Kobe's. I lived through Kobe.
Oh, I do have to go now, though. Sorry, I gotta go. Yeah. I do have to, and my headphones are dying, and I don't have the charger for them. So.
Oh, that's not a problem. We do appreciate you for stopping by, Dora. Before you go, let everyone know your social media.
So yeah. Oh, it's D the Machine 24 on Instagram and on Twitter, and that's all I have. So if you see me anywhere else, that's not me, because I don't think there's any fake accounts of me, but it's just D the Machine 24 is my social media for everything. But if you do, let me know. I do like to look at stuff like, oh, is that me? Is that what people think? But no, I don't have Facebook. I don't have I have a YouTube, but I don't post anything on it. But I don't have Facebook or TikTok or anything like that. I'm just a simple girl. So just Instagram and Twitter, D the Machine, if you guys want to follow me. And then that's it pretty much. But yeah, I do thank you guys for having me on,
give her.
This was so fun. I enjoyed it.
No problem. You will go back anytime.
Yeah, Yes.
Guys, follow her because when she does do her live spontaneously, and they do be good. They do be some good lives. So give her a listen. She can
Yes.
inspire you from time to time. So shout out to
It's
you.
mainly women's
Shout out to
wrestling, but
you.
I still talk about the fellas, my big meaty men, as they say. And, I still, yeah. But mostly women's wrestling, mostly women's wrestling.
You
Yeah,
gotta come on when I watch alongs. You gotta come on when I
Yes, I
watch alongs,
definitely will.
especially
that's true. We
with the
got a Royal
obviously
Rumble coming
women
up. So if you're
on
interested, have my people call your people. You know what I'm saying? So we can
I'm
work
the
some things out.
people. Yes.
No.
No, definitely, yeah. The time zone things too. I just gotta figure that out because I kept telling everyone different times and I felt so bad. I was like, wait, so it's what time? What time? What time? So yeah. I
Right.
got the time
Yeah.
thing down though now, so I know we're 2 hour difference now. So yeah, no worries. But yeah, I do
All
have to
right.
go
Well,
take care of my
again,
kiddos
we
and
thank
things
you
like
for
that.
pulling up
So
and enjoy
yes,
the rest of
thank
your
you.
night, man. And Happy New Year's again.
Yes. Yes, happy New Year's. Enjoy the rest of I don't know how much longer you guys will be on, but definitely have more fun. And I'll try and hop on when I'm done. But yeah. But thank you so much for having me though. This was fun. I really enjoyed it. So thank you guys for
Not a
asking about
problem.
that.
Not a
I loved it. Yes,
not a
thank
problem.
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
You have a good night. Bye.
You too. Bye.
Oh
That's
man.
fine.
All right. And then there was two. So yeah, so we got our John Cena moment out the way. Now I was hoping to get to this moment before she, but unfortunately she had to go. Now we're gonna get to our favorite Monday Night Raw moment. It could be from this past year, 2 years ago, 10 years ago, 7 years ago, however you wanna, even in the '90s. Um, Actually, I'm gonna go last. John, who do you have? What is your favorite Raw moment? It could be a segment, debut, retirement, return, match. What stands out to you that's your go to, like you'll think about that one the first thing you hear of Raw history.
Anything from the Attitude Era with Stone Cold. And I think about the first time we got him and Vince in the ring, and he hit Vince with the star. I posted I changed because I put the other day when I tweeted this out from our account. I quote tweeted the gif of him spraying the corporation with the beer with the beer hose. But I think of him having that first interaction where he stuns Vince McMahon and pretty much reads him the riot act, and he gets his escort out in handcuffs. So Stone Cold will always be, that's my favorite. He will always be the one that definitely, that definitely will be my favorite Raw moment, because I always go back to the Attitude Era for anything. I can find a favorite moment for each era. The Attitude Era will always stick out. Stone Cold's my all-time favorite.
For me, and I'm pretty sure once I start talking about it, John, you're gonna know where I'm going. Me and Nick has talked about this multiple times. For me, it was Madison Square Garden, 2002. 2002, Monday Night Raw, the return of Triple H. Now, mind you, in 2001, when WCW got bought out, he wasn't there because he tore his quad. So he missed the entire Alliance Invasion storyline that lasted from the spring all the way to the fall. And he made his return literally 2 months later in January. So he pretty much missed all that. So this man left the game, no pun intended, the biggest heel you think of. People were booing him out the building. No one liked him. Yeah, they said he sucked. They called him an a-hole and every other name under the sun. To hear this man get a standing roaring ovation on his return, I can watch that 50 million times and I still get chills watching it, because he was one of my favorite characters ever since DX, since he took over DX and he was the leader. that's when I started fucking with Triple H. That's when he started to become like one of my favorite characters in WWE. So to see his rise to the top was cool, and to see him lose it because of a leg injury. So for him to come back, because he'll tell you the story. He said it in many documentaries. He wasn't sure what he was going to come back to. Were they still going to boo him? Was he going to come back to hear a pin drop? And to see him come back to the celebration he came back to, nothing rivaled that until obviously this past SummerSlam when we got the return of Roman Reigns. But even then, I don't think it surpasses Triple H's Madison Square Garden return, because that was a moment in time where when people truly started respecting a heel, like literally respect the heel for their work. The man put in a whole lot of work. So for him to come back and get that ovation, that's a moment in time I'll never forget. And that's something I will always have as a go-to when I think about Raw moments. And if y'all in the chat, y'all got a Raw moment, feel free to let us know before we head on out. Give us your Raw moment. But for me, it's definitely Triple H. Madison Square Garden is definitely my favorite. So, and that pretty much concludes anything Monday Night Raw. We went through what happened last week. Now we just ready for Monday night. This coming Monday. It sucks that New Year's is the middle of the week. I still gotta go to work, and I didn't take any time off, which I should have, but it's okay because I got Monday off, so I can be fully rested and have all my devices charged. Because, man, that match, that night, it's gonna be special. It's gonna be a PLE. This is pretty much a pay-per-view on Netflix.
That's right. I can't wait. I can't wait to watch it. I really can't wait to watch it because obviously I was thinking about this earlier today. WWE's been at the forefront of how we view television. Obviously, with WrestleMania 1, from closed circuit television to Monday Night Raw coming to USA for 32 seasons. Obviously, SmackDown coming on the TV. And then obviously what was the biggest game changer was the WWE Network in 2015. And then going to Peacock in 2021. And now Raw going to Netflix starting Monday. It's just going to be they've been at the forefront of how we view sports and entertainment. And I can't wait to see what this is going to be like. This is going to be an incredible journey. And Monday night, it's going to be more than just a show. It's an event. It's going to be an event. And Netflix, we saw what they did with Tyson and Jake Paul. It was kind of spotty, but they got it right for the NFL. And I think they're going to be so ready to put on a show with Monday Night Raw live from the Intuit Dome here in Inglewood.
Yeah, and luckily, thankfully, if there is any glitches on the first night, I wouldn't have to worry about it because I'll be there. So unless my eyes start twitching like the Matrix, I won't have any issues. And so hopefully everybody else, gets to see it. Because like I said, I got a lot of stuff to record apparently. So I need to have my energy drinks up. I need to, get some coffee in because I'm gonna have it's gonna be a busy 3 hours, maybe 4, depending on, like I said, before and after shows. So ain't no telling what's gonna go on after that. So we're gonna take care of that, and then Tuesday there's NXT. So it's gonna be a good week for the Sports for You brand. So, but before we get here, we gotta do our usual. John, you already know what time it is. Let's get to it so we can send these people home with a Happy New Year. You heard?
Happy New Year, but as is often imitated, it's never duplicated. Even on New Year's Day, someone says or does something we don't agree with, and ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the first calling out names of 2025. And I didn't have nobody going up into the show, and then all of a sudden, I go down my Twitter feed, and AEW finds a way to just make me put them on calling out names. So
And
Dynamite's
I
going
think
on
it's
right
what I just
now.
saw too.
And now I just see that we saw Saturday at World's End the return of the Rated R superstar Adam Copeland. Him and FTR coming to take on the Death Riders. But when they introduced Adam Copeland, they introduced him as the Rated R superstar Cope. Now, if y'all know, Adam Copeland's Twitter feed is now at Rated R Cope because he can't be Edge because of the trademark, because WWE owns that trademark. Just call him Adam Copeland, please. Adam Cope. What are we doing, man? Cope, the Rated R superstar. Cope. I just want to hear how Justin Roberts said this crap. Cope. I'm coping with trying to figure out what the heck are they doing to a legend right now.
That's insane. Yeah, because as soon as you said that, I looked down when you send it in the group chat. I'm like, what? Like yeah, AW's. I don't know what the hell's going on. How do you expect someone to get behind that? Like, what the hell is like? I mean, there's already one too many on the roster to begin with. Adam Rated R superstar. The fact that you still be able to use that name, is awesome. But you're trying to give it a one name because you're trying to have it hit like Edge. Rated R superstar Edge. You can't duplicate that, and if you do, you definitely are not going to have the same success with the name Cope, because it sounds like no offense to you, John, but it sounds like one of them religious names or something. Like it sounds like a Christian thing. It doesn't fit.
It sounds cultish, to be honest.
Yeah, it's trash. That's the
only thing I have to call out names. I know you got a person on calling out names. I know you've been wanting to talk about for the last 2 weeks. So I give you the floor. But that's the only thing I have to call out names.
Who do I have to call out names?
You had an issue with a certain somebody talking about their money.
Oh, I already. No, I'm gonna stall it out because that match with Statlander at World's End, that was good. I'm actually that she put on a good one with that match. She didn't cheat. She did what she had to do. She got the dub. It was the actual great title defense. But yeah, I already that's out of my system. But yeah, she needs to stop doing that. Well, everyone does that. I don't know why. But I had a shout out, but I forgot who it was. Yeah, I don't remember. I was gonna shout out somebody, but if I remember, I'll write it down for next week's show. But yeah, no, I ain't got nothing. So pretty much, Cope is gonna be the ending topic of tonight as a call out name because who the hell came up with that name? And I'm gonna say it's Adam and Tony Khan will say, yes, sir. Whatever you want, you can have it. I'm just here collecting my toys and my money. Go ahead and make me. You can have whatever you want. You could have called yourself the Rated R Superstar. For all I care. Just do whatever you want to do. So we're gonna get up out of here. We'd like to thank everybody who joined in, tapped in. Once again, thank you to Duro for being a guest on our show. Always welcome to come back at any time. Nessa, Bella, Lena, everyone that was in the comment section. We thank y'all. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at money_ice. You can follow my guy John at John Watson 0984 on Twitter and Instagram. And you can find him Tuesdays and Fridays with Nick Freeze and the homie Mark on Sports For You podcast at 6:45, mostly 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So it's always a show over there, that's for sure. So we're gonna get up out of here. We wish everyone to enjoy the rest of their New Year's Day. Most likely, everyone's probably recovering from the night before, because Lord knows I am, but I'm actually doing good. And for all y'all who got the rest of the week off, must be nice. The hell with you, but I'm happy for you. But we gotta get up out of here. We got work to do in the morning. So on behalf of John, I'm Trev. This is Sports for You Wrestling. We will see you next week for episode 14, because we got another All-Star cast coming up on that one, but more will be mentioned. So follow our socials later on in the week, within the week, and you'll find out who those people are. So we're gonna get out of here. Enjoy your night, and we will see y'all next week. Yeet.
Yeah.